If you're a SaaS company currently trying to scale content so that way you get more visibility within the Google search with SEO strategies, but you're currently bottlenecking and finding the most high quality keywords to target that ICP that would bring the majority of conversions, I'm going to break down the step-by-step SEO keyword research guide so that way you fully understand exactly what to look for and find those core topic where your potential ICP is going to be searching for. So in this video, I'm going to use console.com as my guinea pig so that way you guys have a little bit more context into the keyword analysis strategy I'm going to break down. I'm not affiliated with them in any sense, but again, I just want to showcase a really good example of if you're starting from zero and how you would conduct your keyword research and build topical authority so that way along whatever funnel within the stage, you're gaining a lot more visibility organically and influencing your visibility for, your potential ICP in this sense. So the first step in this process, before you conduct any keyword research, you really want to identify your persona, right? So who's your core persona in terms of who are you trying to target, right? So you don't really have to rely on one persona. You might have multiple personas in terms of who are you trying to target, but this gives you an underlying focus area group in terms of what type of topics you should be focusing on. And then once you do find those topics and keyword research, what is the overall tone you should be mentioning? Because obviously, depending on your specific target, you want to implement more of the semantics, their sort of lingo. So most likely, majority of you do know what type of target audience and persona you want to target, but I'm just going to break down ways you can find ideas to find that specific ICP target. So you can use AI, which can give you multiple ideas to really find this for you. So I can ask Claude, he break down multiple personas for console.com. And then I'm pretty much just giving context into Console does. So pretty much they're an AI platform for IT built to help teams automate support and shift from doing work managing in the systems, pretty much like IT ticketing, but automated. So we can just pretty much ask Claude and we can see what this is going to output for us. Awesome. So it came back with multiple personas. So it also broke down, the type of profile, title, what type of company typically would this ICP be within, who they're reporting to, and the overall budget. But I think the most important point to this as well is the pain points. So you can see here different type of pain points and the overall goals. So since you do have multiple ICPs, this can you can leverage this to brainstorm topics that potentially they would be searching for to find a solution to their pain points. So again, this is a really good way to start out and really identify who is your actual target audience. So pretty much you want to find the solution into their problem based on this little initial research you're doing, and then you want to tie in which product or features are going to solve their problem. So I feel like there's a big misconception that SEO is extremely competitive, takes a lot of time in general, but this is false. If you have the correct foundation, you can pretty much supercharge and gain visibility a lot more quicker. So typically what people would do is they'll do keyword research, see what's not competitive in terms of keyword difficulty, and just focus on high volume keywords that won't really typically bring in conversions, because typically the less competitive keywords are the keywords no one wants to rank for, right? So you need to create more of a topical authority. So this is why the process of identifying a persona is extremely helpful, because you want to approach keyword research from more of a topical level. So that way you create topical authority. So for example, if we look at console.com, they're not really ranking for much keywords, right? But they do have really, really high domain authority, so DR, from a scale from 0 to 100, which takes into accountability, right? Into how easy it is for them to rank for a specific keyword. But there's also topical authority. So typically, sometimes you would see a website, let's say there's a website domain with 25 DR, where they're targeting a lot of the keywords for more of like a topical approach, where they're pretty much covering everything from, IT automations and anything semantically similar from more of a topic level. Um, Obviously, they're going to build more topical authority because they're more authoritative in covering a lot of those specific topics. So in this sense, console.com doesn't really have much topical authority, but we could leverage their domain rating, which is pretty high at 52. And then if we're looking at what type of keywords are they ranking for, so the way you identify your topical authority is you can pretty much analyze that based on the keywords you're ranking for. So in this case, it's more branded. So they just have topical authority, topical relevance around their branded entity, not so much on pretty much non-branded keywords that it'll be focusing on. But if you do have a lot of keywords that are non-branded within the similar topic that you're ranking on, most likely when you try to pretty much branch out into a subtopic within that overall topic, you would have much more easier time. So that's the main effort we're trying to achieve with this software keyword research approach, where we're leveraging topical authority and not as much as domain rating. So based on the personas and their core products, I've pretty much put together topics that could be pretty much targeted. So again, like I said, a lot of people typically just focus first on top of the funnel, which is the awareness stage, because typically it's more like long tail keywords with less keyword difficulty. But you want to start off your keyword research for more of the bottom of the funnel and then work your way up. So again, focus on the core topics. So let's say their core product topics are going to be like IT automation, help desk automation, IT support automation, etc. So we have pretty much a lot of specific use cases, operational efficiency topics, platform integrations, which is really, really great. So these core topics is pretty much what you want to create authority around. So let's say we can start off with IT automation. So if we're looking at it from more of a bottom of the funnel perspective, if someone has the intent of looking for the specific software, again, they don't really have a page that's particularly optimized for that. So pretty much number one, what you want to do is put yourself in the ICP shoes and then reverse engineer what would you think they would search for based on a topical level. So let's start with the core products as an example. So if we search for something like IT automation software, this is a core product feature product or feature in general that somebody would be searching for, where it would match the intent of their specific overall product. So I'm using Ahrefs in this sense. There's other keyword research or SaaS keyword research tools you can use, such as like SEMrush, Ahrefs. But Ahrefs, in my opinion, has the best data in terms of keyword difficulty and search volume. So that way you can also get different variations of the terms and then specific questions people are asking for in that sense. So pretty much exactly where it broke down. You want to pretty much find the topic idea based on the persona you just built, right? So what are the problem solutions or products they would be searching for within Google? Then you want to match on based on intent, right? Where in the funnel are they landing to, and what's the overall focus and an outcome for that specific piece of content you want to pretty much optimize for. So in this case, the keyword we searched for is IT automation software. So if we conduct this same exact search, you want to analyze the SERP and understand what's being prioritized. So if we look at this specific keyword we're trying to rank for, there's a lot of different listicle content, and then we're also having more of like a landing page approach. So it's sort of like a mixture of, you can see here, like landing page and listicle approach. In this case for console, they don't really have a landing page, bottom of the funnel type of content page. So I would pretty much use this specific keyword that has really, really relevant in terms of intent, and then also a good amount of volume as well. So again, other things to take into consideration is where in the funnel the content's going to become. So you can pretty much analyze the SERPs, look at it, and then pretty much identify based on the core current. So like what you're seeing trending in terms of content type on the keyword that you want to optimize for. And then you really want to, again, match it from more of a user experience type. So whether it's a landing page, listicle, a tool page, a how-to, etc. And then also considering what, like, do you have topical authority on this? And again, console doesn't really have authority. So we're going to be starting off from the bottom of the funnel, as explained before. So a good free keyword research planner tool, which is like really great for identifying a lot of topics as well, is Google Keywords Planner tool. So you can pretty much do a lot of your research and finding different topics within that. So let's say we search for that core product that we're trying to pretty much create topical authority around, and find topics for that. So we'd search for something like IT automation software, again, for this, like what we're trying to target. And then we can pretty much refine the keyword. So I typically filter it by non-branded. In this case, there's not really any branded specific keywords, but again, you can pretty much see different variations within that specific keyword that's relevant. So they pretty much categorize it by relevance here, as you can see, and you can pretty much gain more keywords within this sense. So some good opportunities is like we can create listicles based on this. So I'm thinking of using this specific keyword as a landing page in the landing page approach, but then you can also build upon this. So we have keywords like IT automation tools lists, top IT automation tools, best IT automation software in general. So this could be in favor of creating those listicles, and then internally linking and listing Console's product as number one. So that way we're building authority and entity association with other brands as well. All right, so pretty much that's one, like I just broke down like more of like the manual approach based on your ICP, but another way is you can do competitor research. So again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to analyze and see what your competitors are doing, because at the end of the day, SEO is a competition, right? So you can get a little bit more insights into what really you should be targeting and what keywords that best match your intent you should be targeting. So there's Resolve.io, which pretty much does and has a lot of features and core products that Console has. So pretty much they're doing exactly what I said. They're creating a lot of landing page type content and optimizing every single specific landing page based on the type of features that they do or product that they have. So again, password reset automation, they created a individualized content landing page on this. So what you can do is within SEMrush or within Ahrefs, you can pretty much analyze their overall structure and what keywords they're ranking for. So Resolve.io, pretty much similar in terms of like DR, but they're ranking for a lot more keywords and pretty much gaining more visibility within organic search. So if we click on organic keywords, we can pretty much see what type of keywords they're ranking for, and pretty much what specific URL page that they're gaining a lot of visibility within that specific keyword. So if you have trouble finding specific search terms your potential ICP would be searching for, just look at your competitors to gain some more ideas into different type of topics on this end. So we can see here they're ranking for like help desk automation. So if we see and I click on help desk automation, they're pretty much ranking for that specific landing page where they're highlighting service with their help desk automation, service help desk automation. And this is again similar to what Consoles it pretty much provides, but there's nowhere within their site where they are optimizing for that help desk automation core feature that they have within like their product. All right, so I'm gonna pretty much build a topic cluster from every stage of the funnel and every single type of page type that Console should be building. So that way you guys have a better understanding of like the overall keyword research analysis process. So the main core feature and the main topic I want to focus on is creating a landing page. So I really want to create a landing page targeting the keyword IT automation software, because again, this is pretty high in intent and pretty broad in terms of the topical authority. So pretty much what I'm going to do is list this page type as a landing page. That way it's a little bit more visible and you guys have a better view of everything. So within Ahrefs, we could pretty much look at different variations in matching terms based on this keyword that we have. So in this case, I wouldn't go with like best IT automation software or like top IT management automation software, because it's not going to pretty much match the intent within what the competitors are doing within the SERPs, so search engine result pages, because the overall intent and what's being prioritized on like best or top is listicles, right? So we can probably save these keywords for more of like a listicle type approach, but for now we want to focus more on a landing page. So we also want to find semantic terms or any other keywords within the sense. So I think IT business automation software is another like good secondary keywords. So aside from all of the core main keyword that we're trying to rank for in this case, so the topic's going to be like IT automation service, we want to find secondary keywords that make sense and pretty much semantically make sense and provides more context and pretty much has the relevant wording that would be associated with our core topic. So yeah, you can pretty much find some good ones. So we can see here, we have workflow automation for IT processes. This is another great secondary keyword. Granted, it doesn't have a lot of, search volume, but the intent is what's really, really strong here. People have the intent of looking for like a workflow automation software specifically for IT processes. So again, this is probably not as competitive as well too, but 50 searches a month is still really, really good, because you're still getting in front of people who have the intent of looking for software and buying a software. All right, so based on that relevant keyword phrases that we just saw, so currently right now for like the main topic for this landing page, we have IT automation software, and then I found 3 secondary keywords that match the intent pretty well and they have significant amount of volume. So again, now, so that way we can find more semantically relevant keywords. We can also do further competitive research. So for example, if you search for, again, IT automation software, I pretty much pulled the data from, we have SolarWinds here and then Redwood software, because again, the overall structure and intent is more of like landing page specific, whereas the other posts that we have here are more listicle approach. So it wouldn't really make sense to use these listicles as a, I guess, like inspiration in a sense when doing keyword research. So like I said, here's probably another one like IBM, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to see like how the top performing pages are ranking and what they're ranking for organically. So we have here, let's look at SolarWinds first. So SolarWinds isn't ranking for a lot of keywords. They're ranking for about like 8 total keywords, but we found like some keywords that would be naturally be included and is semantically like relevant. So like, for example, we have like IT automation solutions with about 1,600 searches a month, not as competitive. So this is something we could also look at and integrate. So I did some keyword research and created topics based on every stage of the funnel. So obviously the bottom of the funnel is going to be focusing around their product feature, which is IT automation software. So this could even be like a optimization for like their homepage that they currently have and stuff. But again, they can just create more of like product feature pages. It seems like they already have like integrations, but some of these aren't working. But some insight on that, where they could create the specific topic, IT automation software, and then based on the keyword research strategy I just broke down, I found some relevant secondary keywords. So again, the main focus is to analyze the competition and highly ranked pages and seeing what their SEO user experience is pretty much created. So that way you can pretty much create an outline, so that way you're matching intent and also providing high quality content in that sense. So my recommendation is, within like the secondary keywords, try to include this within your content, but again, it doesn't have to be word for word to a T. It just has to have sort of somewhat similar phrases, because you still want your content to look authentic and not robotic, which is what a lot of these AI, automated content creation people are using are looking like. So you want to make sure you have differentiating content, analyze the content gap from these competitors, and then also have a good amount of like keyword inclusion with a good amount of like keyword density, but making sure you're not pretty much keyword stuffing. So two of the other topics I did was 2 more blog posts. So it's more like a how-to blog post where we're targeting the keyword like automated ticketing system, and then found some like different phrases as like secondary keywords where it's still relevant on a topical authority level on like IT automation software. So the overall goal is to do this for every single product feature and ICP that you're targeting for in this case. So, they have for console, they have like help desk. So looking for a lot of like help desk specific keywords, whether that be like bottom of the funnel, but also like top of the funnel, middle of the funnel. And same thing for a lot of their other type of integrations that they have. And then break it down into different queries, whether that be long tail, let's just top of the funnel in this case, where we're going to be focusing on writing, a how-to, and then internally linking to this specific product page or this other bottom of the funnel, or this in the middle of the funnel where we're talking about IT service desk automations in general, which is going to be more like a guide and then examples based on what I'm seeing being prioritized within the highly ranked pages. But yeah, hopefully you guys found value in this video. If you did, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave it within the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you want to work with me and have a more in-depth, tailorized SEO strategy for your specific SaaS brand, there will be a link in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.